Welcome to Remainders, where we talk about all the movies that remain. Today, we're going to be talking about the 2002 movie 25th Hour. Very excited for this one. My name is Patrick. With me always a pleasure. Darren, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for that introduction. It has been an extra week in between our last episode, and I'd like to apologize to everybody who's been waiting patiently for us to cover this amazing movie that I had never seen before from Spike Lee, called 25th Hour. I just recently talked to my girlfriend and I said, I'm so excited to hear what Pat has to say about this film because, it's always cool when I don't see the film and I know it's something that you suggest. And a lot of times there's a lot of good reasoning behind it. And on first watch, I got to say, not necessarily something I really understand fully on first watch. I think it comes with a asterisk of time period of when it was made. And so I'm really excited to talk about your takeaways, why this is something that you want to bring up today.
Oh, yeah. Love to hear it. So, yeah, just learning this in real time. I've stopped asking you if you've seen movies because I always like to be excited for our conversation. So that's fantastic to hear. This is going to be a first time watch for you. And like we've always talked about, the whole point of the podcast ever since our days back in Suncoast is to recommend each other movies. And that's what this one's going to be now. So,
and as I always have said to you before, like the cool thing about it is like you pay attention a little extra when somebody's like, hey, this is 100% you should watch, So
I've learned those are the movies that I want to pay attention to first. Is the ones that you talk about, other people I trust about movies. Those are what I want to be focusing on all the time, though. So
yeah, the big bonus is having the discussions too, of course, which is great about this podcast is we get to have those with each other, and then of course when people comment, we get to have it with them as well. So without further ado, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to say, excited to talk about this.
There's no cutting off. Yeah. I mean, 25th Hour, it is a pretty simple story. It is the final moments of Monty, played by Edward Norton, former drug dealer on his last free night before going into prison for 7 years. And this is, I just realizing before we started recording, it's like, this is kind of a first for multiple people that we've discussed on the podcast before, but we've never covered anything by Spike Lee, Edward Norton, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. For as much as we talked about Philip Seymour Hoffman dozens of times, I don't know if we've ever actually covered a movie that he's in.
That's so interesting. And especially Spike Lee too, of course, right. I know we've talked a ton. I love Do the Right Thing is with as hot as it is right now, both I'm sure in Chicago and in Los Angeles. And I actually just got back from Fort Lauderdale, which was like the most insane weather that I've ever felt with all that humidity. Like we should be almost covering Do the Right Thing because of the heat, But yeah, I will say like, wow, those three, that trifecta, you would think at least we would have crossed paths. This is our 78th episode today. You think at least we would have covered something, with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Spike Lee, and Edward Norton. I mean, there's so many.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, our MO has been to kind of cover the movies that aren't talked about as much. And this one kind of does fit that bill for those three. I mean, it is one of the lesser talked about Spike Lee movies.
That's true.
Because it is somebody else's script. And he typically, he writes the majority of his movies. Speaking of, I mean, we're talking as Spike Lee has a new movie out, Highest to Lowest. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I think it's his fifth movie with Denzel. It's based on a Kurosawa movie. And so I'm pretty excited to see that one. So that was another reason why I wanted to talk about this one. But then also just stretching of our own conversation, not a huge connection, but it does share a few themes from similar to our last episode, Joe versus Volcano.
You said, and that I'm super excited to hear what you have to say with that.
I mean, it's not like super like deep or anything, but it is just the final moments of a person's life, So Edward Norton is facing 7 years in prison from a drug deal, from a drug bust, basically. And the movie doesn't go too deep into plot about anything. It's just about the final 24 hours of his freedom. And before going into prison, I mean, facing 7 years of prison is basically like dying almost. I mean, he has his own monologue. 7 years doesn't sound too long, but he's also somebody with no skills, no connections or anything. He's basically facing death, especially in his own eyes. And that was the absolute theme of Joe versus Volcano on our last episode. And so just this is not. It was more of just like a connection and a through line as we go from episode to episode, connecting the two. So I thought there would be a good one to talk on, dovetailing from that one, because especially how much I love Joseph versus the Volcano. That was out of left field how much I enjoyed that one. I know I'm going to be watching that one for years to come. I
bet you it even probably grew after we talked about it on the episode. I bet you, like, as the weeks have gone on now, you've kind of been like, damn, that movie, like I have, and I've seen, like I said, I was the one who said we should cover it. And Marianne and I, we've been talking about it a ton. For some reason, that film, just the one that got away a little bit, no one really talks about it. And I feel like it's got more popularity. So it's cool. I see the connections with like your impending doom, or just like what you're looking at and how you live your life because of it. There's some things that didn't connect for me in this film, and we'll talk about it. I think there's a lot going on here, and that's why I said it's kind of about the time period. So they're trying to kind of interweave the 9/11, like a post, very, very post 9/11, because they even show some of the destruction in the film out the window, those scenes and stuff. So it's like in the immediate aftermath of 9/11. And he's also kind of trying to connect like racism and different things like that. I mean, the neighborhoods and the type of people that are in the neighborhoods. And some of that to me didn't really connect with like a story about this guy's last night. So do you have any thought? I mean, I know we should probably get to that, because that's kind of like,
that's where should we start?
That's kind of the thing, is like, where do we start? Then I'll just tell the audience right now, like what like Pat said is true. You kind of get introduced to this character, but don't really know like if he's a bad guy or if he just kind of was in this. It's just kind of like he got into this life, kind of like Brando and On the Waterfront. You just kind of got into this life because you kind of, like you mentioned earlier, like he's got no trajectory, nothing else he could do, but he was going to do this, and then once he makes enough money, he's going to get out, type of thing. So you're kind of like, oh, this guy can't be that bad. And then he saves this dog, which is very right at the top of the film. He saves this dog, and you're kind of like, first of all, you're like, is this dog going to die right at the top? And if it does, I'm probably going to turn this film off, But then, of course, it becomes his best bud. And that's kind of like an interesting story, too. Like, how does that connect? It starts the movie off. Is it to show the character? Like, there's a lot of questions I got anyway.
Yeah, just feel it. That's my answer to all that. No, Doyle, one of the best dogs in cinema. He saves him at the beginning. It's a great scene. And yeah, that's just, I mean, not reading too deep into it, that's just one thing that he did right that he carried through the rest of his time before prison. Okay, so to take a step back, so it's based on a novel from David Benioff. It came out a couple years before this movie. So the novel was written pre 9/11. And so it has nothing to do with 9/11 or its events, obviously, because it happened before it. And so that's the story that Spike Lee was adapting and was choosing to shoot right when 9/11 happened. So 9/11 and all the events. So they basically started filming in March of 2002. Basically like 6 months after 9/11, which has got to be insane. Spike Lee, obviously one of the most New York persons out there, always shooting in New York. So like he's as close to 9/11 as anybody's going to be. And so everything in that the movie has to do with 9/11, showing the backdrop, is basically a time capsule. It's just the reality of Spike Lee making this movie that he was already planning to make before the events of it happening.
So why not kind of capture?
Yeah, it's honestly what the movie's even better because of it, because it almost becomes a proxy theme for the morality, the sense of loss, and the sense of mortality, regret, everything that America was feeling, especially people in New York were feeling at that time. And so that aspect of it was not like forced in at all into the story. It just was a natural theme that was a byproduct of Spike Lee making this movie at the time that he was.
That makes a lot of sense. The idea that, well, you and I both grew up in, post 9/11 and been, privy to the racism and all of the comments and all the sort of fear, let's say, after that happened. Is that your take on what happens with Edward Norton's character when he looks in the mirror and he starts to be like, is he actually
such a good
okay?
monologue.
So what's up with that? Give me
that's just his natural. That's just him being a human, of him facing 7 years, wanting to blame everybody but himself, and the monologue basically ends with him blaming himself. Okay. It's a monologue of anger and as a fuck you monologue. And we'll get to it, but it's such
like born out of frustration that there's nothing he can do. He's going to jail, so fuck everybody, kind of.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't read too deep into it in terms of the. Yes, obviously the through line of just hating everybody. I'm sure there was a lot of love in New York at the time, but there was a lot of hatred everywhere in America. So there's just that's a natural byproduct of a fuck you monologue, and I love that it's a perfect contrast. We'll get to it. A contrast to Brian Cox's monologue at the end, which is the monologue of hope, and it's such a great connection between those two. But yeah, no, I just see it as a character who's because that's what this movie's about. He's facing 7 years. He's grappling with the fact that he just constantly has to be accepting the fact that it's his doing. It was all of his own choices to be a drug dealer, and this is what he's got to face now. And that's what kind of one of the major aspects of what I love about this movie is that it's less about the plot of him going to jail. It's just about the small moments with his family, with his friends. So it's basically him and his two friends, played by Barry Pepper and Philip Seymour Hoffman, spending the last 24 hours together, and him making a connection with his former self that he's never going to see again as he goes to jail. So
interesting. Barry Pepper, by the way, kind of like a lot of movies happening with Barry Pepper at the time, but what happened, right? It's kind of I remember that time period being very Barry Pepper heavy, right? And I just kind of haven't seen him in anything in a while. Maybe I'm just not looking.
I love Barry Pepper in this movie. It's on our list to cover because it is a deep cut. The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada. It's a movie directed by Tommy Lee Jones. It's a Western, and it stars Barry Pepper, and it's fantastic. So that's all I'll say about it, but we're going to get to that movie one day. But
yeah, because for whatever reason, I was kind of watching this. It's damn, he's great in this, but what's up with Barry Pepper? It's been a while for me. Yeah, Green Mile. That's right. Saving Private Ryan, of course.
Oh,
these are all movies 90s and early 2000s, and then it seems to be a little falling off.
2019, he was in Crawl, the alligator movie, which I fucking love. It's such a great creature feature. Crawl from 2019 plays the father. It's just basically him and his daughter trying to escape from alligators in Florida, I believe.
I mean, sign me up. That sounds great. Yeah,
and I'm not the only one. I remember Tarantino putting it on his top 10 list of that year. So
no shit.
It's definitely no deep cut. That's
also,
right. Lone Ranger. He was in Lone Ranger.
And I know. Again, I haven't seen. I know you love it.
Ranger. So.
It's crazy that
it's over 10 years old now, but always good to see that one. So yeah.
His Instagram, he's got 13.k followers. Damn, looks like he's a fucking couple Westerns and shit like that. All right. Barry Pepper, let's give him some props because he's great in this film.
I did listen to the Spike Lee commentary, which was decent. It was pretty good. But he was saying when he saw him in Saving Private Ryan, he was like, I really want to work with this guy after seeing him in that. So
awesome.
Which is, so good.
Spike Lee is such a great, sort of, I think, looked over sometimes for a lot of in the top directors, of our time period. I know he's, of course, a huge name as far as directing goes, but when you're talking Spielberg and you're talking Francis Ford Coppola and you're talking all of these, kind of buzzword directors, I don't really see him in that top 5. And he is, goddamn, we're lucky that we're around with him making movies.
What is your favorite Spike Lee movie, or a couple favorite?
Of Spike Lee? Yeah, Do the Right Thing, of course. Have you seen Jungle Fever?
I have, but I don't remember too much about it. I do have a couple of blind spots with him. So
yeah, there's
looking at his filmography,
and that's kind of what I mean. It's like have you seen Malcolm X? I'm sure at least you've seen Malcolm X.
Well, so I mean, my two favorite are this and Malcolm X. Malcolm X is probably number 1. I love Malcolm X. That's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, like biopics kind of can tend to be that way where,
I know, but that's that's why I always because I shit on biopics all the time, but it's like when a biopic is done right, and especially when it's like it actually covers the character rather than beats that everybody knows, biopics can be awesome. And Malcolm X is a fucking amazing example. So
I agree. I mean, because I'm like I'm big on like biographies anyway, so to see a biopic done well, but yeah, sometimes it's not. And I'm looking here at like you said, you talked about Inside Man being one of your favorite films too, right?
I've seen it once. I liked it.
You liked it. Okay.
I did like it. I've only seen it the one time. So
like as of kind of recent, Chirac, The Five Bloods, and then you just mentioned Highest to Lowest. There's a billboard out on the street, kind of down my block, and I took a picture of it to send you, and I never did. But I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, it's interesting. Like one of my favorite things about following him on Instagram is one, he's such an amazing, like he's always selling shit, and I love it. It's like
like his own shit.
Yeah, like there's some kind of stuff that like I think it's called like. Forget the name of his production company, but like they also have merch that comes out, and it's always selling stuff. I fucking love it. And then he also has he'll share sometimes like what it took to make something. So one time he posted a notebook, which is a regular spiral notebook, and it was all written by hand, and it said 1 week or something like that. Do the right thing. And it's like when you see stuff like that, and you see like a guy like Spike Lee who seemingly like kind of had everything against him, just like, and it's so inspiring to see that he can make a movie by just using his brain and putting pen to paper. And I mean, there's so much more involved, but like that beginning of it, the like to make something, all you got to do is get a spiral notebook and start writing shit down,
yeah,
and then do the work afterwards. But if you've got that idea and you're good like that, like it's such an inspiring. He's a great American artist, in my opinion.
Nice. Oh yeah. I never watched. I don't remember seeing like the full like discussion or anything. I just remember seeing a clip. But there was some discussion with Spike Lee and Fran Lebowitz when Spike Lee, who was a big Knicks fan, huge sports fan, but they just were going back and forth on how much Spike Lee loved sports and how much Fran Lebowitz couldn't give a shit about sports, and they were just trying to get on the same page of like, why do you like sports so much? And it's just one of those quick interchanges of like. If you care about sports, you care about it. And Fran did not give a shit. And she was like, why do you watch that shit all the time? So,
well, to be honest with you, kind of like our introduction, if you really think about it, like was seeing him courtside giving Michael Jordan shit, like during all those years that like the Bulls were so good in Chicago. I mean, really, Did you know him really as like this director, or did you just know him as like this kind of like hype man on the side?
That is true. I kind of forgot about that. So it's like, who is this fucking New York asshole giving Jordan shit? Come on.
Right. It's like John Starks is his best friend and shit. It was pretty crazy time to grow up. But like I then you kind of realize who this guy is and his filmography and stuff like that. So, but kind of like Hitchcock, he kind of became a character, didn't he?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's I still remember him quite a bit in his performance in Do the Right Thing. And that kind of led to,
Mookie.
Yeah. So his off-screen persona.
We'll have to cover that too, man. Danny Aiello, like John Turturro.
Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X are I would say most people would put that at the very top of his filmography. But like I said, 25th Hour is way up there for me. So,
well, let's keep it going on 25th Hour. I didn't mean to go on that, tangent, but we are a tangent heavy podcast. And yeah, there are some great names in this too. Anna Paquin makes an appearance here as the student of Seymour Hoffman. And that leads me to say to you, what the fuck is up with that? Like, there's so many kind of side things that are happening that I don't understand. And you really helped kind of show the point of the 9/11 stuff for me, which was super helpful. And then I kind of don't really know what's going on with her, Anna Paquin, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Is there like some sort of like cautionary tale we're supposed to bring out of that, or how does that relate to Edward Norton's character? I'm not too sure. It doesn't matter. Maybe I'm thinking too much, huh?
Yeah, I don't think it matters, because the focus is on Monty going to jail, and this just happens to be his friend who's experiencing this at the time. But in terms of like a novel aspect, because I haven't read the original novel from Benioff, but from my understanding is like that character stuff was, largely intact from the novel. And so from that aspect, I kind of just read it as not necessarily like a cautionary, but just like Monty's facing all of his regrets as he's about to go into 7 years of jail. So it's kind of natural for him to give off a kind of a vibe of like reflection. And so Philip Seymour Hoffman kind of in this position with his student who's been kind of like friendly with him, asking for like better grades. She ends up at the club with them, and such a great scene. That the two dolly shots of like her, like it's like a signature Spike Lee shot where it's just like super close up to the face as they're moving towards the camera. So you got one of Anna Paquin. They end up kissing really quick. They both regret it completely instantly. They're like, Jesus Christ, we both like fucked up hardcore. And then it leaves with Philip Seymour Hoffman kind of doing the same thing as he's walking away, just staring straight into the camera. And so just ultimately, I just kind of feel like it's more just like about facing regret in the moment, like he's in the moment of regret because he's kind of fucking up. And
I guess that helps the story in the way that like Edward Norton has already made those mistakes, right, and he's now paying for them. And it's like, here we're seeing the character making the mistake
Norton's
right now.
On one side of it, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's like right in the shit of it. So
okay, so this is kind of like our Godfather thing, right? We got Fredo, who like, is like the heel. Nobody wants to like, give him anything. And then we've got Sonny Corleone, who's like, he's the hothead. So it's like, he could be the Godfather. He's got all the, fuck you anger in him, but that's kind of what is his unfolding. But then we got Michael, who's just like in the sweet spot because he's the one who shouldn't have it, but he has all the right things to make it work, even though he's the good guy and not corrupt. So it's kind of like interesting with these three. It's like, I don't think it's done as well as The Godfather, but like maybe that's kind of what you're saying. It's like they're set there and written as a sort of like a balancing act of like what's happening with Edward Norton, or a cautionary tale of what could happen to somebody if they make these choices, right? And unfortunately for Edward Norton, he is in his 25th hour. So is that the idea of the name of the movie, 25th Hour? It's like, okay, 24 hours in a day, right? And what's that last hour? Is like, you get an extra hour? What does that mean, do you think?
The title of the movie, it would be him gaining freedom after his death. So if he's fighting for a 25th hour, i.e. 24 hours is the end of his life. So that's what kind of the whole movie is about. It's like, what is he going to do? Is he going to, and he goes through this with a couple monologues. So for one scene, a couple scenes that kind of relate.
Sorry, not to cut you off, but like a 25th hour, is that a normal like phrasing that people talk like, oh, your 25th hour is like your hour that you get to live after your death?
Not that I know of.
I know of either. Yeah. That's why
I'm sure it's possible for smarter people to know that, but I don't know. I mean, but it's
that was a great explanation. So, that's what I wanted to know. Like what is it like? What is he trying to say with the title of this film? So that's good.
He's trying to avoid his last minute on Earth. So a couple scenes that kind of relate to this. An early scene with Barry Pepper and Philip Seymour Hoffman at Barry Pepper's apartment. They're talking to each other about what is going to happen to Monty, and he's basically saying he's fucked. Like there's nothing that he's going to be able to do to get out of this, and his only options are one, to kill himself, or to like completely be fucked by prison and come out a worse man.
Like literally from what they're saying.
Yes, and literally so. And then that scene particularly is like, it's just this great long dialogue between the two of them, and then it pans out to the 9/11 site, and the music is beautiful. It's just like such a great shot, and it's just such a great scene. And then that leads later to a discussion with Edward Norton and Barry Pepper when he's saying like he doesn't have any fucking options. He's either going to kill himself or he's going to go into prison, get completely demolished, and never come out with a worthy life, or he's just going to run. And so that's kind of alluded to a little bit. And so these are
like
all
alluded to that he's going to like not turn himself in.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's kind of always lingering in the background of their discussions, but it's never kind of like overtly said.
Yeah.
But they obviously explore that quite a bit when we get to the ending of the movie. But so those are all just, I mean, the 25th hour is just a literary way of saying borrowed time,
Borrowed
beyond,
time.
Yeah.
Because we only get 24 hours. Can't we just have a little more?
Yeah. Fucking stupid me. I thought there were 25 hours in the day until I watched this movie. So, and then I was like, oh, it's actually 24 hours.
He also, let's talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit
just
about,
move on from that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing though. Let's talk a little bit about Rosario Dawson, who I love, and anything she shows. She was kind of killing it at this time period as well. There's Sin City, and then there's a couple years after this, she's doing Grindhouse, and
so did you recognize her classmate in that scene? So in the scene that Edward Norton meets.
Yes. Can you hold on for a second? No, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was trying to think, and now I just got it. Yeah, of course, from a butterfly from Death Proof.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I was watching it. I'm like, wait, why does this scene look and sound so familiar? Oh shit, it's the.
Well, that's fucking hilarious.
Even though they're in the two different groups of girls from Death Proof, they're not in the same group, but it's Butterfly giving the lap dance of Death Proof. So,
well, you were talking about how earlier, like he saw the film, and that's why he wanted to cast. Gosh, why am I just escaping me?
Barry Pepper.
Said it. Yeah, Barry Pepper. But then also, if you think about it, like then Tarantino could have seen that scene and been like, I gotta hire both of these girls. I mean, I think that happens. That's what Sean Baker said basically to Tarantino. Like he's like, when he made Nora, he's like, I saw her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I was like, that's my girl.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
No, Rosario's amazing in this movie. She's always good. When is she not good? So,
well, totally. And I think that also is a great, like, did she turn him? There's always, so for the audience who at this point hasn't heard, like, did someone turn him in? They find these drugs in his couch, and there's kind of like
it's implied that Naturel turned him in. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Naturel, great name. But yeah, it's implied that she's the one who turned him in. It's such a great scene when the drug bust, and he's just looking at her like, is she the one who did it? So, and that unfolds pretty well because Barry Pepper even is one who kind of possibly assumes that she was the one who did it. Turns out she wasn't, but.
Yeah, that scene at the club, you mean, when he's talking to her and they're having the drink and he's basically like, yeah, you did it. But then you kind of also are like, man, he does have it all. Like they have this great condo and she's just loves him. Like it's clear, and they have this kind of like cool. And also with the dog, you're like the whole time. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one, but you're kind of like, he's got to fucking split up with his dog for 7 years. Like that's the biggest crime of the movie. Like Doyle's like you said earlier, Doyle's the shit.
Yeah.
And they're like best buds. And now like who's going to watch him, and then they figure out that it's going to be Philip Seymour Hoffman. But yeah, man. Oh, it's a pretty gut wrenching. And I'll let you keep going because I don't want to get to the end of the movie yet. But like there's a lot that transpires and between those three under that bridge there and what looks like Central Park.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's like it's largely about the moments in his life, and as you're saying, like he had it all, and it's him slowly kind of taking accountability and responsibility for his decisions, because like we said, with that entire monologue of anger, of fuck you, it's almost like the rest of the movie is like an unfolding of that, where it's like, no, it's actually I'm the one who's responsible for this, so I gotta deal with the fact that I don't have Doyle around, or I don't get to fuck Rosario Dawson anymore, and I got to go to jail. So, I mean, which would make anybody kind of bummed if you're going away from 7 years from Rosario Dawson. So,
yeah, exactly. It's like the whole movie too, he's pretty calm, cool, and collected, despite the fact that he's going to jail. Until we see that scene where he breaks down kind of in the bathroom by himself after he's having like a steak dinner with his dad.
Yeah, like the whole movie opens with him just casually walking at like 6 a.m. Along the New York River with Doyle, just kind of exploring the city, explaining to the guys, asking for drugs. He's like, I'm not in the game anymore. He is almost kind of like a Zen.
Oh, by the way, you know who that was?
Oh no. The drug dealer at the beginning, or the guy asking for drugs at the beginning. Who was that?
Come on,
I didn't recognize him
from Beautiful Girls. It's just such a New York blowhard.
What's Beautiful Girls?
You never seen Beautiful Girls, dude?
I don't think so.
You're fucking nuts.
Tell me. Don't bust my balls. Just tell me what it is.
Beautiful Girls with I believe it's a Jonathan Demme film, if I'm not mistaken. With
1996 with Matt Dillon.
Yes, and come on. Well, I'm forgetting everybody's name here. It's because I'm so fucking busy. I can't think straight. God damn it.
Natalie Portman.
Yes, like one of her first films. You never seen that, huh?
No.
Okay,
I can recognize the poster, but yeah, I've never seen it. Ted Demme,
not Jonathan Demme. Ted Demme. Rest in peace.
All right.
Both of them rest in peace, actually. Okay, hold on a second.
I don't watch fucking movies. What do you want from me, dude? So
everybody listening to this is like, you guys are fucking shouldn't be doing this. Come on, dude. Michael Rappaport, dude.
That's a deep cut. So I mean, I'll put it on the list right now. But
Michael Rappaport is the one going to like buy the drugs, right?
No, that was not Rappaport.
Am I mistaken? What
you are insanely mistaken. That guy does not look anything like Michael Rappaport.
Why? I'll tell you. I'm gonna say something right now. I'm doing the Pinewood Derby, like 7th Corner Gallery thing again this year, and I've been outside all day spray painting cars. So that's my excuse. Okay, I've been spray painting and just huffing gas. Holy shit, man!
That's so great.
Sorry about that, you guys.
No, that's so good. This is such a great tangent of you busting my balls for not seeing it, but then being 1,000% off of what the actor is. I mean, the guy was great in the role, but yeah, does not look or act anything like Michael Rappaport. So.
Michael Rappaport is like unmistakable too. You know what I mean? That's like what makes this so funny. It's not like you could accidentally mistake him. It's like, no, you can't mistake him for anybody.
Superboy from Copland.
All right, fuck me. Yeah, that's right. He was Superboy.
Too good. All right. Well, either way, I have a good recommendation now. I did just watch. So Timothy Hutton. This is going on a tangent right now. Timothy Hutton from this movie you're talking about right now. He's the second lead. It looks like. I did just watch The Dark Half from George Romero and based on a Stephen King movie from 1990, which was pretty popular. I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Starring Timothy Hutton playing dual roles.
Beautiful Girls is amazing because it's like about hometown people. Like one of the guys got away and the rest of them are still there, like, you know, drinking at the bars and stuff like that. And he comes home for like, I think a holiday or something like that. And everybody's kind of like, you know, got this life, but it's like, what does it look like? You will really like it. It's a great film. So if you do feel like watching it.
Deep character study territory, which I'm always for. So.
Oh, big time. And like you said, dude, Matt Dillon, I just saw he did a Criterion Closet. Like, did you see that?
So I saw that, and then it's like I feel like he's been like I just looked on film Twitter recently. Like he's been kind of like blown up. It'd be like everybody forgot that Matt Dillon's a fucking great actor. He's like in so many great movies.
I just think that he doesn't necessarily have the roles that you're like, oh my God, Matt Dillon's like a genius. You know, he kind of plays a dummy sometimes. Like he's kind of cast that way, like a brutish, kind of bro-y kind of character. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, have you seen To Die For?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. You know, good. Gus Van Sant. And then like also just like all of these like roles that he had when he was younger, where he's just kind of this, I don't know, like motorcycle jacket wearing guy who drinks beers, you know? And I just watched Singles the other day on the plane. That was just like, that role is like that too. He's just like kind of dumb rock and roller, you know?
I mean, one of the best scumbag performances of all time. And There's Something About Mary. I mean, it's a super mainstream, not mainstream, but like it's one of the better comedies of the 90s, but he is so fucking good in that movie. So
big time. Anyway, that was great to see him pop up in the Criterion Closet, and he's talking about all these French movies, and you're like, what? Matt Dillon, you know? Also, he's a director. I haven't seen many of his films, but I think that's kind of why he's been blowing up. He's been directing a lot.
El Gran Falov from 2020 was the last movie he directed.
Maybe he has one coming out or something. I don't know.
Possibly.
Anyway, back to 25th Hour. I apologize for the tangent. I apologize for screwing up on Rappaport, but you should see Beautiful Girls. Anybody listening to this knows Beautiful Girls is a kick-ass film. Yeah. Back to 25th Hour.
So Naturel was not the person who turned him in. It was his big Ukrainian sidekick, Kostya, who gets the shit beat out of him in a great scene with the Russian mob. So
that's a great scene in this film. Like the line, I don't care what you do with him, but I'm walking out the door. That's
right.
Great shit.
Kind of like, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to do anything knowing.
But I'm not going to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, Monty, Brian Cox described his namesake from Montgomery Clift, which I figured you liked.
Shoot the right profile.
Wait, say it again.
The Clash film about Montgomery Clift, Shoot the Right Profile. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I didn't know it was about him, but Montgomery.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to be my music pick for the day. Then we're going to put that on there, Shoot the Right Profile, because that's one you got to hear if you haven't. And yes, I love that. And then he says something like Montgomery Clift, so tragic what happened to him. He died so early, like mirroring what could happen here to Monty the character, right?
Yeah. Star of Place in the Sun, which we lovingly covered on the podcast. Great movie.
Absolutely did. Montgomery Clift is a great actor as well. And there's some of his later films after he had his accident that are really good too. And he gets a lot of shit because his face was so disfigured and all. That's like what that Clash song is about. Shoot the Right Profile. Sure. I don't know if you ever heard that story. If real quick. So Montgomery Clift goes to Elizabeth Taylor's party. They're best friends. She didn't know. I mean, she knew he was gay, and everybody else knew in Hollywood and stuff like that. But like the public at that time didn't know like if people were gay or not. And he kind of had this kind of like life that was like behind closed doors, and doesn't really have anything to do with like what happened to him. But it's just kind of painting this picture of kind of the sadness of Montgomery Clift, you know. And he's in this party, and I've read Elizabeth Taylor's book. It's called Furious Love. And she basically talks about him leaving the party, and at the party, everybody there could hear this crash. And she ran down like the hill from the party and like had to pull his tongue and his like teeth out of his mouth to get him to not choke on his own, like, because he was so badly hurt in this accident. And it was like super traumatic. Took him a long time to get back, but then he got addicted to pain pills and became a super alcoholic. So the rest of his life, he would kind of do roles in movies, but mostly like Elizabeth Taylor helping him out and saying like, hey, hire my buddy Montgomery Clift as my like, you know, leading man in this, because everybody was like, he's done and stuff like that. So sorry to get on a Montgomery Clift tangent, but that's like, that book is, by the way, that book is fantastic. Furious Love. Elizabeth Taylor is like, I guess it's her biography, autobiography, right? Is it an autobiography if you wrote it yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's our autobiography.
No, I had no idea of any of that, but as an author, either if Benioff or Lee added that makes total sense. That, you know, that's 100% why they included that, and everything you just said of why like that was the namesake for Monty. So
possibly, I don't know, but could have been Irish too, which is like a big thing about Brian Cox's character and Monty's characters, that they're Irish. I think Irish Catholic, right? He owns a bar, you know.
Are you talking about Brian Cox in this movie?
Yeah.
They're Irish firemen. You know, they're having dinner in that fireman restaurant, basically. So that's what Brian Cox was, and that's what Edward Norton would have become if he didn't become a drug dealer. So.
Oh right, yeah.
So that's a big part of it. And they have that great scene with Brian Cox, and we talk about him a little bit. He's awesome in this movie. He basically blames himself when they're at dinner. It's like he kind of is like taking a disproportionate amount of blame. I think that is almost why that leads to Monty getting up, and that's when he has that "fuck you" monologue. And Brian Cox is just the father who feels like he failed his son when his son is the one who failed himself. So
yeah, he's like he quit drinking, but like he knows like that was the cause of like all those years of
right,
neglect to his son, and so yeah, blame himself. Classic.
We'll get to the ending soon. Patrice O'Neal shows up in a nice cameo, which is fucking awesome as the bouncer at the club. Love that.
Who?
Patrice O'Neal, the stand-up comedian. No. He was the big black guy who was the bouncer in the club. Awesome. Yeah, he was awesome stand-up. Like, he passed away a while ago. He was a legendary stand-up. So
yeah, he's awesome. I love that little thing. When he says something to him that's kind of important to him at the end. He's like, don't get mad until you have to, or something, right?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Basically, he's like kind of like you're going into the fire, so you got to be strong if you're going to actually do that. So
yeah.
Champagne for my real friends and pain for my sham friends is a quote I love when they're in there. I don't know who wrote that one, either Benioff or Lee, but either way, it's great.
Yeah, terrific.
Yeah, and so they ended up getting into the end. Last 24 hours after the party, the three of them end up back on the river that the movie starts. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Barry Pepper, and Edward Norton, and he's like saying he's got to beat the shit out of me because I can't go in looking all pretty like myself to prison. So
yeah, that's a great scene. Barry Pepper is fantastic in that scene. He's like
just all the pent up anger that he's had for this friendship for years is just coming out, basically breaking the nose of Edward Norton, busting out his teeth. So brutal to watch. So, and
then then you have to watch him like hobble home and be seen that way in front of Rosario Dawson, and then those flashbacks too to the cops being like, oh, she's going to be living in your nice house and, fucking everybody in your house and stuff, trying to get him to break. Yeah. But he doesn't, of course, which is like such a great character thing that he probably could have gotten a lenient sentence but then you realize if he did rat, he would have been dead man anyway, because these guys are pretty fucking serious.
Yeah. Wasn't really an option in his eyes. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it leads to like one of my favorite parts is the ending is with Brian Cox's monologue when he's driving to jail and he's basically just doing this whole monologue about taking off, starting a new life in America, somewhere completely unknown. And this is possibly a path that you can take instead of going to jail. And it's just kind of like beautifully shot. It's, Brian Cox is doing the whole entire monologue. Is so good in it, and it kind of leads to like kind of like a born again redemption Zen isolationist kind of component of leading a life and starting anew. And it's just so well done that I love. It's always the part that stuck with me the most for this movie, and it like ends with the quote: "It all came so close to never happening. This life came so close to never happening." And it just leads to showing like what the life he could have had, but because of his own choices, like he wasn't able to have it.
So I can't really, again, this is my first watch. So there's and I'm so excited to kind of see this film again now, knowing kind of what you said about certain scenes and stuff and how they actually matter to the story. It's funny because you're kind of like you're reading too into it, but your like explanations were like very much like, no, they make sense within the world of all these characters and the story as a whole. Because that was my problem on first watch is I was kind of having trouble connecting the dots. And as you know, I kind of need things to be connected. I know that's not necessarily, not all the time, but like, if I feel like it's there and it exists and it's kind of like just kind of bullshit. I don't think Spike Lee would ever do anything like that. But, sometimes you're watching a film and things exist and you're like, why is that here?
Yeah, no, I mean, I trust me. I saw this movie. Did I see this? I might have seen it in theaters. I saw it right after a theater. So I've seen this movie multiple times. All I'm saying is, there's so many times when I watch a movie, I have no idea. And then multiple times after, I can understand what's going on. So it has nothing to do
at
with,
the end of the film, like as per a lot of films, I think this is your kind of ending because it's leaving it up to the audience of like, did he go to jail? Did they drop him off or did he not? Right. I mean, you don't really know.
No, this one you do know. Yeah. It's clear
they show. Yeah. Okay. It's not really supposed to be ambiguous.
They show it's a fantasy and he is going to jail because the last scene it is all just a fantasy of Brian.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Brian Cox's whole monologue is like, this is what we could do. This is what, like, you came so close. That's what the thing. That's his monologue ends with the line. It all came so close to never happening. This life came so close to never happening. It's just like you're on the edge of like getting something better than this, but you have no choice and you're going to jail now because the end scene, you have that whole fantasy and like some of the makeup of him being an old man with a family is a little cheesy.
Like,
that's the only part where I'm like, I kind of roll my eyes a little bit. I was like, this looks a little janky. You shouldn't have put him in old man makeup or anything, but
it was of course something that happened that I was just like, well, whatever, you know.
Right.
See that exactly. Sometimes, so whatever.
But you move on from it, and then they cut back to him being in the car, and they just keep on driving, and it's like, no, that's just a fantasy. He's going to jail, and probably is not going to live a very good life afterwards. So,
yeah, and I don't think there's even like a possibility for like early parole. It's like you got 7 years, and you're going to do the 7 years. They kind of make it like pretty well known that guy like could have had few outs and it could have been reduced sentence or he could have like different things. And it's like, no, this is 7 years of your life gone. Like, because you didn't play ball with us and that kind of stuff, which is, that 7 years is a long time. Like she's going to wait for him. No fucking way. 7 years, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I read it less ambiguous, but you know, that's just how I read it. You know, it could be something a little bit different, but the whole movie we mentioned, every scene that we've been talking about, the score is fucking fantastic. Terrence Blanchard is the composer, and I just love the score throughout. So many great scenes with it's kind of like the 9/11 side I mentioned. This whole monologue with Brian Cox, music is incredible. And then I'm sure you liked here in the end, Bruce Springsteen pops up at the credits.
Makes sense though, because that was like really big with him having like, you know,
he had that Rising. Big 9/11, The Rising. That's right. Yeah. So, but I know you're a big Springsteen fan. So, I
mean, I'm not huge. I love Springsteen.
Really?
And I like, okay. I'm not huge.
I thought you were a big fan. So,
no, I mean, there are some like that record further up the road, is one of the greatest fucking songs, and it's on that record, The Rising. He really like hit a home run with that record. Like that was like a resurgence for the boss. But I've never necessarily been a huge Springsteen fan. I respect the man. Our drummer, Dave Schneider, loved the Bruce Springsteen, and his dad was in a cover band, Bruce Springsteen cover band. So we used to practice alongside like these guys doing Bruce Springsteen songs. We would fuck with all the levels on their microphones and stuff. They hated us, man. Oh my God. But I was going to say one thing, that there's a documentary called The Seeger Sessions about the making of like Bruce Springsteen.
I had that album when that was out.
Did you like it? Do you remember?
I remember loving it. Loving it.
It's excellent. And that's why I was going to say that's a real big bright spot for me in Springsteen's career. And in 2006, I think it was, he went on the road and like did some touring with it. And then they released like a live record of the Seeger Sessions. And he does a version of Further On Up the Road and also Atlantic City on that. And it made those songs even more better, like for me. Like, really great stuff. If you have like a second to like just to the people listening, if you have a second out there to watch that DVD, the making of was so cool because they were all in this old like house and they were all in different parts of the room, but they were recording that album live, and so it's cool to see them do that.
I'm just looking at the track listing because I had the CD. I remember driving in my car back in the day. Oh, Mary, Don't You Weep. I remember.
That song is awesome.
I remember really liking that one the most.
Yeah.
Track 2, Jesse James. Actually, I'm not remembering how it sounds. I should listen to that later. We talk about Jesse James quite a bit. So
totally. And then there's also old Dan Tucker was a fine old man. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess maybe I'm a bigger Springsteen fan. I mean, I love The River. That album is amazing. And then Nebraska. Both of those albums, those are the only two that I like still will listen to, like of his, but like both of those I fucking love.
Are you excited about the biopic?
No. I'm the one who doesn't like biopics on this podcast.
Right. The other one. Figured, yeah. I know, but
is it with what's his name from The Bear?
Yeah,
he's playing him. Yeah. I saw image. I don't know. I'm not going to just shit on movies, but just like I said, most biopics are so fucking generic and meaningless to watch, and few of them are as good as something like Malcolm X. So, but that's the thing.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Bruce Springsteen did show up on a couple episodes of the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I know I watched those, but I didn't even remember that he showed up.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty great. All right. Anyway, enough Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, I think that probably had a connection with the 9/11.
Totally.
New York stuff here with the filming of this. I guess it came out in 2002, so right after 9/11.
Yeah, like I said, so he started filming in March of 2002, and they had a huge, like really quick turnaround in terms of releasing it within the same year. So completely in the aftermath, like I said, just accidentally becoming a theme of the movie because of Spike Lee's connection to New York. A couple random quotes. Barry Pepper at the bar. I'm Irish. I can't get drunk. I like that as an Irishman.
Yeah.
Brian Cox, when he's just starting his monologue, he said, "You always told me you wanted to see Wrigley Field." So he's talking about possible places that he can get to, and that also connects. I mean, like, us being Chicago guys, you're obviously still huge Cubs fan. Last time we were hanging out, you just were off to the Cubs game. The idea of just like how much freedom that you don't always realize you have.
To go to a ball game, like something similar.
Yeah, well, just stuff like that. It's just like he's at this point in his life where he's facing down death, basically. Whereas like it's easy to forget and not be grateful for the freedom that you do have until it's being taken away.
Go to like a ball game.
Right.
That's true. It's like we do take that for granted, don't we?
Yeah. So figure you like that quote. Mentioned Patrice. That's all the awesome stuff I have.
Cool. Yeah. Again, I love the film. It was just so hard at first watch to kind of get everything to connect because I was really just taking it in as a Spike Lee film too. I'm kind of like watching it, and it doesn't really feel super Spike Lee to me either. Know,
it is more of a Benioff kind of script, and there are obviously direction touches that you mentioned that you can see from Spike Lee, kind of like I mentioned those dolly shots, but like that is kind of the thing that makes it unique. It's clearly a Spike Lee movie, but the vibe of it is kind of somebody else's. But to see him put his touches on it, like when he first gets in the car and he's with Brian Cox and they're starting to drive and he's looking at all the people and the young boy on the bus, and they're like giving each other's names on like the frost on the windows. It's like that's such a Spike Lee moment.
Yeah.
So it's like filled with like moments of his, but it's like somebody else's vibe. So it's like that's what makes it unique in his filmography, I think. So
yeah, that's a great scene too. Just like showing the youth of like I was once a boy too that didn't have all this weight up on my shoulders. Also, I wanted to say I've never seen Black Klansman.
It was good. I saw it in theaters the one time.
It was like one of the films recently where he's had, a lot of like awards recognition and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was probably his most popular in the last like 15 years. But I remember liking it quite a bit. I do like young Washington. I'm forgetting his first name. Denzel's son.
Oh, I didn't know Denzel's son was in that.
Yeah, he's the star.
Really?
John Washington. That's Denzel's son. Star of is in Tenet.
Well, I've never seen Tenet either.
Oh, Tenet. So Tenet is the one that everybody hates that I fucking love. I love Tenet.
Yeah.
So
we've talked about it before. I think it was like a slow burn for you though, too, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with everybody's problem with it. It doesn't make any sense. I think even Nolan and everybody filming it was like, this movie doesn't make any fucking sense. So, but as long as you fucking like admit that, it's because it is such a great fucking bro movie. It's about him and Robert Pattinson. They're just dudes who are friends or are saving the world. It's like such a great like guy hanging out with another guy, saving the world. They're just friends who are trying to save lives of people and take down the villains. It's such a great movie from that angle. So,
well, we'll have to cover it on here so that I can actually see the film, because I don't know. I've never heard anybody loving that film. Not that I follow reviews too much, but that's one in the filmography I've not seen.
For Nolan, it's like it's graded on a curve. Like if anybody else directed Tenet, people would be like, "Well, this is like the next big filmmaker. This movie's great." But like because it's Nolan, it's like, you didn't make one of the best movies of the decade, so people are gonna be like, it's not as good. So
interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, look, I'm up for giving anything a chance. I'm glad that we talked about 25th Hour. I know this was something that you suggested, and I'm glad you did. I might not have seen it had it been not for you. So if anybody has made it this far in the podcast, let us know what you think of 25th Hour. And, where it sits and ranks among Spike Lee's filmography. I know, like, again, there are a lot that I haven't seen of his, so I can't fairly rate this right now in his, even top 5, because it's hard to say when you haven't seen every film by the director. But I would say that I really enjoyed the film, and I'm glad I saw it.
Upper echelon, sounds like. That's where you're going with it.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Nice to see Edward Norton as always.
Yeah. Shout out to Michael Rappaport.
Yeah. Fuck you.
What else are you watching these days?
Oh man. So like I said, I watched Singles, and that was a first watch for me. Which is interesting because if anybody knows that film, if you're my age, you had that CD for sure. It's got Pearl Jam on it, all of the Seattle bands. By the way, Cameron Crowe directed it. So what took me so long? I don't know. But there's or at least it was last month in August, a playlist called 90s soundtracks, and Singles was on there. So I watched it on the plane. And I fucking loved it. It was great. It was pretty funny. There's a young Jeremy Piven in it again. We love seeing Jeremy Piven popping up. And what else am I watching? I don't know. It's hard to pull off the top of my head right now, but there's been a lot of good things. I'm short on cash per usual, but I told you that they're doing a resurgence of the whole bloody affair, Kill Bill at the Vista.
I do need to
for a week.
I do need to fly out if they're playing RoboCop and Kill Bill
same
at
week.
the Vista.
Yeah.
I do need to.
Like, Pat, this is Pat's fucking.
I may need to make a little voyage to your side of the country, and we'll hang out and watch a couple movies.
But yeah, I just got back from Fort Lauderdale and a really quick trip that we had been planning for a while to see my girlfriend's mother, and had a very nice time. Just a little Labor Day weekend thing, and I haven't been traveling for any kind of vacation or see family since I got to Los Angeles like 4 years ago, for the most part, like maybe once or twice. And it was nice to get away for a while. So like I said, really hot out there in Florida, man. Oh my God. Like, talk about you hating the heat. Like, you would have died. You would have melted.
I've been to Fort Lauderdale and I don't have plans of going back anytime soon. So.
Gotcha.
No shade to Fort Lauderdale, but yeah, not my vibe, especially during summer. I'll go there in January.
Yeah, like I said, there's just a humidity with it. People talk about like, oh, I can't stand Florida and the humidity, and I'm kind of like, what do you mean? Like, and now I know what they mean. But just working hard, man. Enjoying my life, and then glad. I had my birthday. We share a birthday, August 14th. So I went up to Big Bear with my girlfriend for that. That was actually something we did where it's in town, kind of like an hour or two away from here. And going up there was scary as hell. There's these winding roads going up a huge mountain, and that was terrifying. We're going to take a different way next time. But once we got up there, it was a really, really relaxing birthday. Had a nice time. Did some work for the Plain White Tees, did some work for Cypress Hill, and had a lot of work this last month, which I'm grateful for. So how was your birthday?
I turned 41, so I don't celebrate birthdays anymore. So
you did nothing?
I went to see Toxic Avenger. We saw that. So so that was good. So
Patrick.
I mean, we don't celebrate birthdays at this age. So I don't know. Maybe you do. So I don't.
I do. I mean,
my entire
every time I make it another age, that's actually these days pretty fucking great.
I don't know. The idea of celebrating my birthday, I haven't thought about that in years. I guess my whole life is a celebration. I have a great fucking life. So
okay. Fair enough. Yeah. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking another day, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Anything else? What other movies you watching then?
I just remember seeing a tweet about an adult man who takes off for his birthday, and it's just non-existent. Like the idea of a man taking off for his birthday is ridiculous. So taking off work. So
celebrate yourself, God damn it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just it's a reoccurring affair for me. So I did see the new Toxic Avenger. It's fucking awesome. Have you ever seen the Toxic Avenger?
No,
I don't think we've ever talked about it. Classic movie from the 80s.
You think I would like that? Like
I guarantee you would love the original Toxic Avenger.
I got to get your Shudder account back. I haven't had it for fucking a year. Like they kicked me off at one point, and I haven't had it. I guarantee I could watch Toxic Avenger on there.
It might be on there. It's an absolute classic of 80s trauma history. So the remake was made a couple years ago, directed by Macon Blair of Green Room, and works alongside Sean Baker quite a bit. Peter Dinklage starring, Kevin Bacon is the big bad, Elijah Wood producing and being in a role. Elijah Wood's a lover of 80s horror, so he's makes sense that he was involved. So
he's gonna be
awesome to see that
DJing for Lord of the Rings.
Hell yeah,
coming up in a few days.
Awesome to see that. Highly recommended. So I think we should just cover the original Toxic Avenger at some point, because that's
I'm in. I want to.
That's not going anywhere. So
clearly, I know about that film. A cult classic, of course, since I've been a kid. But for whatever reason, I just never saw it.
Got a physical media. So I finally picked up this steel book a while ago. RoboDoc. Speaking of RoboCop, we just mentioned, playing at the Vista. This is a 4-hour documentary on RoboCop that has everybody that you can wish involved. The entire cast, writer Ed Neumeyer, director Paul Verhoeven, the producers, all the tech people, every actor is involved in it. Incredibly exhaustive. Absolutely one of the best movie documentaries I've ever seen. I was saying, like, any movie documentary that's longer than the movie itself is always going to be a good time. So
yeah, awesome.
Highly recommended. So got this great steel book. So.
Did you get that brand new?
Yep. Came out just last year. So finally watched that. Highly recommended. So
cool. RoboDoc.
They set it up in such a great way. It's like 4 different parts. You're covering all the introduction to the movie, and then in the last 30 seconds of the first part, they cut to all 4 of the big bad guys, Ray Wise, and everybody involved with that. And then the whole second part involves their contributions as the greatest cast of bad guys in an 80s horror movie. So
cool.
So to say that. And find out Ray Wise was actually originally trying to be audition for the role of RoboCop. So the idea of him,
that would have been a different movie, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Episode 50, RoboCop of Remainders. That was their crowning achievement when Patrick got to do his favorite film on the 50th milestone.
I mean, it became your favorite film, didn't it?
Oh yeah, of course. Now it's my favorite film, but yeah.
Yeah. What else? Anything going on in film with me? A couple people we lost this week, actually. David Warner, the character actor from Titanic and The Omen and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Great character actor who passed away. He was his right-hand man, Billy Zane's right-hand man from Titanic.
Yeah, I'm looking him up right now. Damn, dude, this guy is a great character actor.
He's been in so many great things. We lost him this week.
God bless.
His role in The Omen is incredible. That's one I recently caught up with. He's actually in this.
Not this week. It looks like, well, maybe they just announced it, but he died last week, July 24th.
Oh, for real?
He died July 24th, 2022. Okay, so listen, were you spray painting shit outside before this or what?
I mean, I saw it on Twitter, so.
You must have seen an old tweet, my man, because he passed away in July of 2022.
All right. I would possibly ask you to cut this part out because that's disrespectful to David Warner, but we're not going to cut it out. I'm just, it's so far behind on news. Then we're going to, this is my homage. This is me honoring David Warner.
We both had gaffes in this episode. It's fine. It happens. You know, we're only
but I also don't want
we can still say God bless David Warner.
I don't want to disrespect him. Amazing actor, and I'm just finding out that he passed. So,
yeah, that's okay. If you didn't have the internet, how would you know?
That is true. So, all right. Well, shout out to David Warner. Love him. Somebody else who did pass this week, Graham Greene from Dance with Wolves. I know for a fact that he did just pass.
I knew that too. Yeah, that is that is sad.
Yeah. Amazing role in the movie Wind River. I don't know if you saw that one with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. Awesome Western. Only a couple years old now. He plays a father in that who loses his daughter. Amazing fucking performance. So,
shout out, man. God bless.
All right, let's move on from the obituary section because obviously some of my information is not all up to date. So
it's okay. Like I said, it's all good. Want to get on to our songs of the week? Anything else from the last 2 weeks you want to share? I'm sure there's a ton I'm missing, but at the same time, my brain per usual is mush. I'm trying to do too much, and I think I'm just a little.
I'm excited for this. So I got this on the Vinegar Syndrome subscription. I have not watched this yet, but it's a movie that I had no idea existed. It's called Playroom. So this is starring Christopher McDonald, i.e. Shooter McGavin. This is a horror movie from the late 80s, sounding adjacent to something like Child's Play. So possibly like a killer doll involved in it. But like I said, where terror is child's play. So it's some sort of riff on a killer doll starring Christopher McDonald, who I love, who's always good in everything. Never heard of it. I'm going to keep you updated, but this is one from Vinegar Syndrome that they sent me. So very excited to watch this one. So
kick ass. That looks awesome. Sounds awesome. It reminds me, Netflix had shown me something from the 80s called Grizzly 2. It's like a creature feature about a grizzly bear starring George Clooney and a bunch of other huge names. Do you know this film?
Oh yeah, totally. I've seen it. Yeah. It's good for novelty's sake. So
okay. I was like, I've got to watch this, of course. But
the original Grizzly's that one's actually pretty good. So
okay.
But Grizzly 2 is
but yeah, you can't get enough of Shooter McGavin anything. So I'm in for that,
Hell yeah. That's all the movies that I got going on lately. So let's do music.
We'll do music, and I'm sure there's something that I'll remember, like the fact that I did release a new 6-song EP on my birthday.
Fuck yeah.
But these days, I don't release anything on anything but Patreon because I'm kind of tired of giving everything away for free. We do this podcast for free, for crying out loud. So if you don't buy it, then you'll never hear it, which is okay with me. It's not that I don't want to release it for free. I do. I just need to eat. And so just letting you know out there that it's available. You can pay $6 for it to hear it. It's like a little bit of what my life has been like in the last 4 years. I haven't really had much inspiration to write new music. And anyway, I did. it's out there, and letting people know that, maybe one day it'll be like Prince, and like you're gonna open up like a vault of Darren Varel. Maybe that'll happen, but I kind of have the intention for anything that I do going forward to like keep it as like a paid only kind of thing, and kind of only make physical media, like eventually maybe make like a solo album, like vinyl or something like that.
Is there physical for the new release?
No, because it was just too fast to do that. But I'm having someone. I'm going to have someone professionally.
Eventually,
mix and master all of the songs that I've done. So like that, and then the EP they put out in 2019, and kind of have it as a full record. So that's like the plan on that, like physical media. But yeah, I did do some new music, and it's available at my Patreon if you're listening to this and want to check out some new music. I forgot about that. As we segue into our music portion, there is new Darren Varel music out there, but you really got to search for it. Okay, so
it's worth the digging for it.
It's worth the digging, yeah. So I was gonna say to you, like, I definitely think we should do Shoot the Right Profile, because we were talking about it. So that's my pick. It's by The Clash. It's off of London Calling, which I'm sure everybody knows that record.
Oh, it's on London Calling. That I've definitely heard it. I just don't remember the name of the song.
And yeah, basically it's like a joke about like Montgomery Clift, and like how they used to say shoot the right profile, because you couldn't shoot the side of his face that got messed up in the car accident.
I like the right side of my face too. So
yeah, me too.
Got that.
That's why I always like when we do this episodes, I'm shooting it like this side of my face. Never straight on, always to the side.
That's why I got my monitor here. So show this.
Oh, perfect.
It's all about the profile.
No wonder you look so good.
This new clay pomade that I tried out today. So
I was gonna say you look pretty suave today.
Getting a little suave. Yeah, the beard came back so fucking fast. And
dude, it's back like all of a sudden.
That's why I don't fucking shave it. I got testosterone busting out my ears, so it's like this. What's the point of shaving it all the time? So,
yeah,
got it trimmed up. Feels nice. I mean, I shaved it off for summer, and then it was back in like 2 weeks. I'm like, I can't keep up with this shit. So
yeah. You're going to have to hire someone just to shave you.
Are you calling me a fucking gorilla, dude? All right. Shoot the right profile, or shoot
the right profile. Yeah.
The right profile. All right. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I definitely did not. I've definitely heard it, but I definitely did not
just never paid attention.
Montgomery Clift. So
it's fun. Awesome. It's fun in the context knowing that it's about Montgomery Clift. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Good Old Place in the Sun. I do need to watch that movie again. I fucking love that one.
It is a great film. One of my favorite films of all time. But I will say there's also a Hitchcock film that we should cover called I Confess, and he stars as a priest in that.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a really great Hitchcock film. Underappreciated.
I was gonna say I don't know that one.
Yeah,
that's the thing about Hitchcock, man. He's got so much. So many deep cuts.
I know, and so many that are kind of like, because there's like these like kind of pop culture ones everyone knows, like Psycho, The Birds, Vertigo has kind of gotten there now. Rear Window, like I feel like kind of forget about these other ones.
I feel like Rope gets a lot more attention now. Like that was like a deeper cut that a lot of people love.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually own that on VHS. Somewhere in my brother's attic.
VHS, nice.
I was also going to say, I Confess, in all those films, I actually own like a DVD box set that they came out with, like some of those deep cuts. I know The Wrong Man film with Michael
Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport. Anyway, it doesn't matter. My brain's mush today. Great movie with Montgomery Clift. I Confess. Check it out.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right, my recommendation is coming from the band Sea Power. Apparently they were previously British Sea Power, which I do remember looking them up. They had a couple albums in the early 2000s that I had listened to, but I had not heard since then. They did the soundtrack to this game Disco Elysium, which is a detective RPG that I've been playing a little bit of. Kind of the most unruly, unusual game that you can possibly think of. Certainly the antithesis of something like Grand Theft Auto. It's basically a existential nightmare. It's close to being a book in game form, where you're
cool.
You're basically going through a detective trying to figure out who was the murderer of a crime, and your decisions largely affect on how terrible or good of a person you are. And so the existential questions just keep on coming. And Sea Power does the score for it, and it's fucking fantastic. I'm basically recommending the entire album, Disco Elysium by Sea Power. It's pretty much 100% instrumental, and pretty much the opening track, Whirling in Rags 8 a.m., kind of represents the opening of the story, which is just this drunken detective waking up and trying to figure out the clues to the murder. And awesome game. Fucking beautiful music. So excited to hear what you think of Whirling in Rags,
that's cool.
8 a.m. by Sea Power.
That's cool to know, like, you know, you're picking up some of these cool soundtracks based on like video games that you're playing. I love that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play too much, but this one appealed to me because of its existential aspect. Like I said, it being almost like a crime novel in a video game form. So it's got totally style. Lots of cigarettes, a lot of drunken assholes, everything you would expect from a crime noir, possibly directed by Alfred Hitchcock. So
nice. Yeah. And I was going to say also, what I'm realizing, I took like a NyQuil last night, like a capsules.
Nice.
I haven't really like recovered.
Best drug ever.
That.
So
I haven't really recovered from that. I definitely got sick on my trip, and I took a COVID test today because I was pretty sure I had COVID. But I'm a little foggy today. I apologize about that. That's why the Rappaport thing came up. I'm sure it's not because I'm a stupid motherfucker, but you know, I mean, sometimes I am. But I'm convinced when I said that Rappaport was in that film. Turns out he's not.
It would be a wild twist if I'm just having a brain fart and he did show up and I'm just forgetting it right now.
That would be a wild.
That would be insane. I know that's not what happened, but that would be that's a twist that would make me start questioning my own reality. Basically,
well, I hope our good friend Don Dillon comments on that and lets us know for sure if Michael Rappaport is indeed in the 25th hour. We're counting on you, Don. Let us know.
We do need Don to hold us accountable because he knows way more than either of us put together. So
always,
So I do kind of rely on his contributions for that. So tell us if Superboy was actually in this movie. So.
Yeah, what a great name, Superboy. Goddamn,
you're goddamn Superboy.
That was really good. Oh, what a good day. Listen. We're getting close to 80 episodes. And for everybody that's made it this far and has listened to our podcast and enjoys it, if you're new, awesome. Welcome to the show. We've got almost 80 episodes you can go back and listen to. But this is the coolest thing, having this great conversation about movies that we love and having you guys listen along. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another one, which will be my pick, and probably something with Michael Rappaport in it.
Oof, if only. And we are coming up on October. And if you know us, you know, we're both looking forward to the horror movies in October. So very excited for the next couple of episodes. So
hell yeah. Sounds good, buddy. Good to see you. Happy birthday in person.
Happy birthday to you, bud.
Glad to do another episode with you, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, brother. Talk to you later.
See ya. Bye-bye.